Alrighty, so this is a video that I wanted to make. I don't really talk about this series often, but I do talk about a certain... Are they rivals anymore? I'm not sure. But this video, as you can see from the title, is about Super Mario Bros. Wonder. This is another game that is coming out next week, and we're excited for it because it's another multiplayer game that all three of us can play. Which, again, as I said in a bunch of other videos relating to this or Superstars, you barely find those. Like, it's rare to find something with local co-op in the first place now, and then to have it be able to be played by 3 or more people is really rare. So we're definitely excited for this. Now, we don't play 2D Mario too much. When we do, it's not all that serious. The only Mario game we have played for that very reason is well, that's not the only Mario game we played, but the only one that all three of us have played together, since we all usually prefer 3D games, is Super Mario 3D World. We finished that like twice. It's still a fun one to go back to. But this one looks pretty cool. Even with my bias toward 3D, I'm actually really excited for this one. So, just looking at this, obviously people had issues with the new series for a while now, and I will agree it was it's been around for over a decade, I think, so it would make sense people would get tired of it, even if I didn't really care all that much. But this game looks so fun. Like, not even in terms of gameplay, just the visuals in general. It has like it looks close to like a, how would I describe it? Like, take the shine from the new Super Mario Bros. Series, but then like it's like they made the models out of clay, like a claymation type of thing, and then added the shine from new Super Mario Bros. And then like detailed all the backgrounds and stage themes and stuff. I just think it looks cool. It looks a type of unique that, like, I don't really see something that looks like this a lot. So that already is interesting. And a lot of the courses, while they share this is something that Sonic is doing as well, but they're taking themes that you would normally see in the game and then twisting them around, not so much that it's not noticeable that it's the same themes as before, but it's familiar yet different, which is a good thing. I think that's the perfect way to do stuff, especially when you're easing into a new style of game like Wonder. So there could be a lot more new stuff in the next game, because this is probably going to end up being a series at some point. These also, and the response to this game has been pretty positive. Like the desert with white sand, you don't really see that at all. I thought it was snow and a desert at first. I was like, whoa. Now, the characters, they have a lot of characters, but I think they said all of them play the same. Well, all of them in both sections play the same. So they're split into 2 different sections. Those two different sections play kind of different, like have different fundamental things about them, but the characters in those two, they're all going to be different. Or no, they're all going to be the same as the rest of the characters in that section. So for instance, this easy section is for all the Yoshis and Nabbit. None of them take damage, but they will still die if they land in a pit. And like Nabbit is kind of different, but because the Yoshis can flutter jump and eat stuff and be ridden on. And then everyone else is just standard Mario. I think that's a good way to do it. I wasn't too bothered by the character differences, but it absolutely made some characters way better for certain players and certain courses. And I know full well for some people if it started legitimate fights about characters. I would usually go for Luigi, but if I couldn't play as Luigi, or if if it got picked for me, or if I was locked into Mario because I was player 1, I wasn't too mad about it. I just prefer Luigi, but now it doesn't matter who I pick. So yeah, I like the amount of characters we have. What is that? 3, 6, 9, 12 different characters to pick. So that seems interesting. Yeah, they all play the same. Oh, and they added new enemies. I like the Hoppy Cats. And, what was it? The Mamas and Mumsies and stuff. Like, I like the idea for a lot of these enemies. They're really cool looking. Um, I think my favorite of the ones that they highlighted here. I'm looking at the direct from August 31st, by the way. I think, yeah, I like the Mamas the best. Something about something that adorable looking, just ready to eat any and everything is cool. It also reminds me of fucking Clodsire for some reason. Okay, the power-ups. Elephant. I don't have to say much more than that. It looks really cool. There's something about this that I like a lot. This right here, where you can reflect Lakitu projectiles with your trunk and kill them with it. That's awesome. But yeah, you're big, you're heavy, and that has a bunch of different applications like running across small gaps and everything, and everyone can use it. And then we have the other two. The bubble flower looks exactly how you would think it would give and works pretty similarly to the other flower power-ups. But you create platforms and insta-kill looking like all normal enemies. And it goes through walls. And then there's a drill cap that lets you drill through the ground ceiling and break things. So overall, the new power-ups that we've seen so far are pretty cool. I think this would be pretty good for just general different play styles. Like, it's not just running across the level anymore. There's different ways to deal with things to keep the flow going. This seems like one of those games that if you get good enough at it, you will absolutely find a way to just beat the level without stopping, unless something forces you to, like the Wonder Flower or something. Speaking of the Wonder Flower, those are trippy as all hell. And I love the level changes. And I think at some point during this, it showed that once you get a Wonder Seed, you don't have to do it again when you play the level again. I don't think you have to do them at all. Maybe. We'll see. Hopefully that is the case, because then that adds replay value for a stage. Like, you can play it at least twice and still not see the entire thing. Or at least, you can play it and then there'd be something to go back to. Or you could choose different ways to play it each time you play it. That's awesome. Again, I don't think New Super Mario Brothers really had anything like that, unless you count the star coins, but those aren't. They're collectibles for a harder world. And like most Mario tracks don't have a bunch of different pathways on them, so especially once you go to get the star coins, you've seen everything. And there really isn't any advantage or any reason to go back to those areas once you get them, unlike these, where these are whole, whole sections of level that you could choose to do that completely change the level, or parts of a level. So I just like the replay value, and we got a bunch of stuff like tilting the stage. I like this one, changing the wonder effects, changing the perspective. So you can see Luigi basically has 3D top-down movement on the wall of the stage. I have a feeling that one's going to be my favorite. There's your character, and then there's some where your character changes into like a spike ball or something. And just in general, I like this idea of the whole wonder thing, because it allows them to make something really funky and new, but also there's the option still there for someone to just play it like a normal Mario game and still have fun with it like that. I'm not sure which one we'll do yet. We'll probably do the Wonder Flowers, because it's called Super Mario Brothers Wonder, and we usually like to at least attempt the thing that makes the game different. At least, like, try it at first. If we don't like it, then we most likely will skip it. Next up, badges. Okay, so this is... My first thought were badges from Paper Mario. And I guess they're kind of like that. Or they are outright, because I haven't really played Paper Mario. I've watched it, so I can't exactly fully recall what the different types of badges do, but that was my first thought when I saw them. These basically give you different attributes when you moves and power-ups when you equip them. So we got ones that increase the amount of money you get, draw money towards you. I think some that let you jump higher than normal and float. There's the glide cap. There's the one that's the grappling hook. I think there's a wall jump badge and a dolphin kick. What was it? Dolphin kick? Yeah, there's wall climb jump, crouching high jump. There's sensor for items and stuff. Jet run is another one of those ones that I can see, another thing in the game that I can see being used for like a speed run or something. Yeah, they really went above and beyond with this game. Like, I usually like I said this already, but I usually like 3D games a lot more because of the amount of freedom you get. This is one of those 2D games that could rival those just because of how many different movement options you have, even if it is only left, right, up, and down. And even then, in some levels, that just won't be true. As mentioned earlier, the Wonder Flowers can likely change that in some stages. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now we get to online/multiplayer. And so the multiplayer is partially, it's a godsend. It's cool, and it's also a godsend because it took the local multiplayer from New Super Mario Brothers, because that worked pretty well. But then it was like, let's just not make it so you have a built-in griefing option, which is incredible. And then because they took that out, they took like those types of player interactions out. There is no throwing people, I don't think, which some people could see as a negative. I don't see how the bumping, like I can see how the throwing would be a negative, but I can't see how the general using people as platforms would be, unless you're just sheer trash at video games without living platforms. But they took that, and because a lot of those interactions aren't there, they can translate them directly to something online. So like online, it's because that player interactions don't exist, they can do these player shadows and still have it basically be like online multiplayer, even down to making a room for your friends specifically. You can give people you can emote to people, you can give people power-ups, you can put in standees and for basically makeshift checkpoints, because when you die, you become a ghost, and if a player or their standee, both locally, like a standee and players online and a player locally, touch that ghost, they will live. So you can essentially make makeshift checkpoints when you play with random people online. And I think you can also have a whole bunch of people online because they're just ghosts and stuff. Or like you're not, how would I put this? Like not directly on it in a game with somebody. You also get hard points for doing things for people like that. So that's pretty cool. You can essentially do a co-op playthrough, or you can just look at people while you're doing stuff, which is cool. And one of the things is I don't think you have to wait for people to complete a level. That's, despite all this crazy stuff that I've been talking about, that's like the biggest part of this for me. That's one thing that I think there's a little bit of a drag. Oh, and you can also do things like races and everything. But yeah, they went all out with this game. And I feel like this is, like, they're usually fun in the first place, but this looks really fun. And there's as usual, there's a lot more that they haven't shown off yet. There are things there that you're gonna have to wait to actually play the game to see. But what I see right now, awesome. So yeah, it's cool. I like it. I did all this to just say the same thing that I could have just said in 2 seconds. Yeah, so we will be playing this. It will be coming out. I think the first part of both will probably come out the same day. And then after that, I think we'll alternate. Not sure about the dates for each part, but we'll alternate parts. So they'll be the same number each time, and then at that point, it's just waiting till we get to the end. And yeah, not a bad time. Thought I could have gone longer. Yeah, that's about it. See you.